chew bubble gum? Chew a tree? Travel through time right now. The origin story of gum goes back almost 9,000 years to the ancient Aztecs, who first started pulling resin from the sapodilla tree and used it as a sort of band-aid to cover cuts and bruises. When sliced a certain way, they realized it could be cut thin enough to become a chewable paste that they could use for enjoyment and to alleviate toothaches. This was called chicle, and it had strict rules about who could and couldn't chew it. In North America, people loved chewing spruce tree resin. It was their own special gum. Then, people from faraway lands started chewing it too. Fast forward quite a few years to 1840, and in steps our man John Curtis, father of the first chewing gum strip. Curtis took it upon himself to develop the first commercial spruce tree gum by boiling resin, then cutting it into strips that were coated in cornstarch to prevent them from sticking together.
Oh, spruce gum wasn't so tasty and got hard quickly.
He quickly realized that using spruce tree resin was pretty brittle and didn't make for a great taste, so he, along with a few other chewing gum producers, made the switch to paraffin wax, which is still used in some chewing gum today. Within the next decade, he had launched a full-fledged chewing gum operation out of a factory in Portland, Maine. Wrigley brought chewing gum to millions. In the 20th century, chewing gum made William Wrigley Jr. one of the wealthiest men in America. Wrigley started out as a soap salesman in his native Philadelphia. After moving to Chicago in 1891, he began offering store owners incentives to stock his products, such as free cans of baking powder with every order. When the baking powder proved a bigger hit than the soap, Wrigley sold that instead and added in free packs of chewing gum as a promotion. In 1893, he launched two new gum brands, Juicy Fruit and Wrigley Spearmint. Because the chewing gum field had grown crowded with competitors, Wrigley decided he'd make his product stand out by spending heavily on advertising and direct marketing. In 1915, the Wrigley Company kicked off a campaign in which it sent free samples of its gum to millions of Americans listed in phone books. Another promotion entailed sending sticks of gum to U.S. children on their second birthday. Nowadays, W.M. Wrigley Jr. Company is the #1 maker of chewing gum in the world. The Wrigley Jr. Company manufactures a broad range of chewing gum, including Big Red, Double Mint, Extra, Free Dent, Spearmint, and Winter Fresh. Who invented bubble gum? Chewing gum had been around for quite a while when Walter Diemer decided to start spending his off hours as an accountant at Fleer Chewing Gum Co., trying to make a new type of gum in 1923. This was unlike any of the other chewing gum he had ever put in his mouth. He wanted it to be gooey and chewy enough that you could blow bubbles the size of your entire skull. Bear in mind that Fleer Chewing Gum Co. had tried this in the past with their Blibber Bubbler gum that they launched in 1906. But people complained that it was too sticky and simply stuck to their teeth rather than blowing bubbles. Nonetheless, after a year of experimentation, Diemer stumbled into the perfect recipe that allowed for the ideal stretch but was not too sticky that it would get stuck to the face. What happens next almost seems like fiction, but internet sources say this is, in fact, true. Within hours of the discovery of the recipe, Diemer actually lost it and had to try to recreate it again from scratch. This took nearly 4 months before finding the recipe again, making it a long wait for bubblegum to finally see the green light of production. He put a few drops of pink food coloring that he had on hand into the mix and hopped over to the saltwater taffy machine, wrapping 100 pieces that were to be shared with local stores. After only an hour of selling the pink chewy stuff for 1 cent a piece, he had sold out of the entire run of bubblegum. How was Dubble Bubble gum made? Diemer went back to his bosses at Fleer eager to bring this new bubblegum concoction to the world, and they were ready. They immediately started putting production effort behind the project, giving it the name Dubble Bubble and putting its inventor in charge of selling it. Diemer was quite the salesman, going store to store teaching employees how to blow bubbles so that they could then show customers how to do it. It's also rumored that Diemer was so good at selling his bubble gum that he actually brought a 5-pound bag of it to one Pennsylvania grocery store and sold out in one afternoon. In their first year, they broke $1.5 million in sales. As you can guess, Dubble Bubble exploded onto the candy scene, filling up store shelves left and right, becoming a kid favorite for its unique color, flavor, and of course, bubble blowing capabilities. During the 1930s, packaging featured Fleer Funny's color comics with characters Dub and Bub, which was eventually changed to Pud and his pals in 1950. Bubblegum Fun Facts. Fact 1. One thing most bubblegum aficionados don't know is that before World War II, Dubble Bubble was the only bubblegum on the market. During the war itself, Dubble Bubble actually had to stop production due to a lack of sugar and latex. Fact 2. Why pink? Well, Diemer used a pink dye for his new gum because pink was the only color available at the Fleer Chewing Gum Company. Pink remains the industry standard for bubblegum. Happy Bubblegum Day, everyone! Keep having fun and blowing those big, beautiful bubbles.
If you like our video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you and goodbye.